Hello, everybody, and welcome to tonight's Life Loyalty webinar. I'm Chris Niles, I'm part of the alumni engagement team, and I'm your host for the webinar series. Tonight we have Alex Baker with us, the Chief Information Officer, and he's talking with us about the TKE Digital Universe and sharing with us some more about the systems and the resources that make it easier for everybody on both ends to make use of the system and help out our fraternity. So there is a chat function available on the right-hand side of the window, and we'll be keeping an eye on that to the extent we can during the presentation. Questions that we're not able to get to, we will respond in an email to all viewers after the webinar, providing any additional answers we can to those. And again, you're always welcome to follow up with us individually after the session. So with that, I'll get our presentation started and hand this over to Frater Baker.
Thank you so much, Chris. I really appreciate you. So, Fraters, thank you for the opportunity to spend some time with you today. As Chris mentioned, I want to talk about some of the systems that TKE has created over the last several months, and then some of the additional resources that we've been able to provide to our chapters to really help them better their TKE experience and really try to help them with their process on campus to spend a little less time doing some of the menial tasks and do a little bit of automation and give them some extra abilities in the systems. So the first one I want to talk about is our ECompliance system. For those of you who don't know, Donnie Aldrich, our Chief Executive Officer, made a requirement of membership for all collegiate members to complete the ECompliance system. The ECompliance system is a short set of videos, about 20 total minutes, 3 videos and 1 test. And that is, it goes over our risk management guidelines and has a base level knowledge and experience on and education on our risk management policies and guidelines. It was a really important step for the fraternity. It's the beginning of our e-learning systems and our e-learning platforms, and in the coming months and over the next 6 to 12 to 18 months, you will see a lot more stuff going into an online learning environment. We are very proud that over 98% of our collegiates actually completed the risk management e-compliance training in 30 days. That was the requirement set by Donnie this past fall to have everybody complete that by the middle of October, and 98% of our collegiates did. We also do one of our key result areas, and you'll notice this on the KRA scorecard, is to actually have all new candidates and initiates complete the e-compliance training as well. And so we could definitely use your help to continue to reach out to collegiate members and new candidates and new initiates to get them to log in, spend 20 minutes, watch the 3 videos, and take the 1 assessment. That would be a huge help for us going forward. And it's going to continue. This platform is going to continue to get used more and more, and this is going to be something you'll continue to see. This base level online learning education. So definitely start getting familiar with that, and again, you'll be seeing a lot more of that coming up soon. Next up, I want to talk to you a little bit more about the chapter module. The chapter module is our system designed for officers and volunteers to help manage their chapters. Our chapters have been using this for about 3 years in this version. It used to be called the maintenance module, and we had that for about 12 years before that. So the chapter module is a great system that really helps our chapters really manage their chapter and report things to the headquarters. But there are 2 features I really want to focus on, because I think they're one of the most underutilized features by our volunteers and even collegiate members. So the first one is reports. So the reports section has an astronomical amount of reports designed based on your office role. So if you are a chapter officer, you have chapter-based reports that you can analyze conclave registrations or community service, or whether the annual report has been completed, which, reminder, is due on May 15th. There is also a ton of individual reports on that level. And then on a volunteer level, there are reports per province. And so if you are a volunteer in X province as a grand province advisor and a province advisor in a different level, the system will actually allow you to answer both, or take a look and view each province and the reports and all the chapters related in that. Again, this is I think a very underutilized section of the chapter module, and really would give you a lot of information, a lot of insight into chapters in Teak Nation. The next feature I'd like to talk about is our calendar. The calendar is, again, a very underutilized piece of the chapter module. The idea behind this is to have one central location where chapters can put any kind of dates, blueprint sessions that you are having, where you're having a finance person come in, or someone to teach the chapter how to change the oil in their car, to recruitment events, to fall finals or spring break, or a lot of different kind of chapter activities and big dates that chapters should know. And so this feature is designed and built so that chapters can put this in, and it's all in one simple spot. The nice thing, and the thing that I'm very excited about with this, is all of our systems are derived essentially off of the same database. And so by populating this information in here, we're able to pull that information and put it in other places across the system, which we'll explore later as we go along. So that is the chapter module quickly. That you can reach that at module.tke.org. So next up, I'd like to talk a little bit about chapter websites. Chapter websites is a platform we have had for about 5 years. It was rolled out at a conclave several conclaves ago, and we provide a free chapter website on the collegiate side to every chapter in Teak Nation, provided they contact us and ask us to set one up. We will pay for the hosting, we pay for the annual domain renewal, we take care of all of that. And so one of the big things that I'm really excited about is that we have redesigned the chapter websites. These chapter websites, we are continuing to develop and create and add new features to it. Again, as I talked about the database interconnectivity, when you make updates in the chapter module, those automatically happen on the chapter website. As soon as you change an officer, it gets updated on here, and then they can log in and actually use the system to update the website. It's a content management system, so no technical experience is really required. But there's a ton of features, and we continue to add new stuff. So chapter scroll listing, chapter awards, full member directory, all of that stuff, all of that, as soon as it goes into our primary database, gets immediately populated and put across the chapter website network. If you're interested in getting one of those set up, you can email us at tkeogc@tke.org. And then this is one of those pieces of software, again, with this interconnectivity, that when you add items on your calendar in the chapter module, those will appear, if they're recruitment events, they'll automatically appear on the Rush Teak page on the chapter website. Next up, I'd like to spend a little time and kind of the majority of our time here on the myteak.org system. So the chapter module has really been designed to create the ability for chapters to help manage their undergraduate chapter and help our volunteers kind of work with them and report things to the headquarters. myteak, on the other side, is really designed for the general member. This is the every teak that can actually go in, log into the system, and utilize it. So as we get into the system here, after we log in, you'll see a screen that's similar to this. You have some notifications on the left. Again, database interconnectivity. If there are events in the chapter module calendar, those appear automatically right here on the upcoming events screen. Why that's important is alumni are starting to utilize this system. They're starting to go in and use this as the one way to get reconnected and re-engaged with Teak. And so if our collegiate members are actually using the chapter module to update information, and when alumni events are, etc., all of that will be populated in here and alumni can see that. So also on this screen, as you scroll down that screen, you will see the MyTeak experience. And the MyTeak experience is 180 badges that we currently have of everything you can do in Teak, from attending an event to being a volunteer, to the number of years you've been a Teak, to whether you've earned awards, whether you have a birthday in the database, being a charter member, etc. And so all of these features are really helping us at the international level get a better understanding of our membership. You know, we want to reward someone who has been to 5 or 10 or 20 conclaves. We want to recognize people who attend and achieve at a very high level in the organization. And so one of the things we've created is a badge leaderboard. And we've seen, since the leaderboard has gone up, we've seen a huge impact in people contacting us to get more badges and to share more information with us because they want to see themselves go up in the leaderboard. There's also a chapter leaderboard where you can go and view your individual chapter ranking and where you rank among all the Teaks from that chapter. So one of the most really talked about features, and one of the things we're most proud of in the MyTeak system, is the blueprint. We developed with our software provider an online version of the blueprint. As you can imagine, purchasing books for each individual candidate that probably get shipped to them, taken out of a box, given to a candidate, and then end up on a shelf never to be seen again. And so in this new age of technology and millennials and people having iPhones and Androids and having that connectivity, we said, why are we going to make people carry a book with them all the time so they can check off that they've done things? This should all be online. And so that is what eventually became the online blueprint program. This is the 4-step process program here for the blueprint, and you can see, there are links for each of the sections of the blueprint. As a volunteer, a hegemon, or a pretenus, you have the ability then, as you would with the book, to actually review and make sure that person has achieved that minimum level. The things that we should, we expect that they hit 3 of 6 things in this section and 5 of 8 in this other section. Through the blueprint approval section, you would be able to go and review each individual person and how they're progressing along. If they've completed it, you can approve them. And then you also have the ability to view certificates and create and print a custom certificate for the Order of the Founder, Knights of Classic Lore, and Fraternity for Life level. Initiation level, as you would imagine, as soon as that initiation fee, candidate fee is paid to the international fraternity, a badge and membership certificate is shipped out of our office in Indianapolis to the chapter. So a big thing here, and why this is so important, this online blueprint program, is it gives us tracking and analysis, because we are no longer printing blueprint books. So we will no longer be shipping 20, 30, 40 books to a group, and we expect everything to be online from here on out. So as we dive a bit deeper into MyTeak, let's go to our My Profile screen. So one of the new innovations in the My Profile screen is the My Family section. This allows the fraternity to collect and track big and little brother relationship information on each member. This is something we're very, very excited about because we want to be able to build in the coming months a full family tree from scroll 1 to 1500 and be able to follow up and down where who your big is and who your 6 degrees little is, etc. And so since this feature is launched, we've seen a huge number of chapters that have gone in and started going back, collecting all the information on their current members and started going back years and years to go and try to find that information. So again, we can take this interconnected data, put it back on their chapter website that we provide them, and they'll be able to follow those big little brother trees all the way through their chapter. So to show you how it works, let's go ahead and click on the My Frauder screen. On this screen, we show you the 100 people you are most likely to know. That's by scroll number, by initiation date, etc. The database automatically picks those for you. You also have the ability to search those names and find other people. From there, you can actually click on an individual name. That individual name screen will actually have a link that says add as big or little brother. And you can go in and choose the drop-down list and decide, is he my big, is he my little, etc. It'll automatically create the relationship in the system on your record and the big or little's record as well. One other thing I think that's really interesting here is in Joshua Brink's example here, we show that we're missing contact information for him. And this is, I think, one of the most exciting features, and we're very excited about all of the new interactions we have gotten from that. And so that's our Lost Brother feature. That's located at tke.org/lost. And from there, you can see a listing of every chapter and the number of teaks that we have lost information for. We are missing either email address, mailing address, or a phone number. So at tke.org/lost, we can go in and click into one of those individual records. And you can see here there's a listing of 6 teaks or so that have a scroll number, that have a graduation year, but we've lost contact with. And so this is all a public website at the tke.org/lost. myteak.org is a site that any teak can go and create an account and log into. And so again, the teak.org/lost is this system we're showing right here. So we'll go ahead and click into David Abbott. So this individual record here, once you click into that, gives you the ability to either be David Abbott in this example and update the information yourself, provide updated information because I'm Alex Baker and I know David and so I want to update his information, or report him as deceased. Through this system, we've been able to get reports of frauders who have passed into the chapter eternal, and that allows us to keep from mailing their spouse, or be able to put them up on our teak.org/chapter eternal page and recognize them as a member who has passed. So after you've updated this information, that gets directly sent to us here at headquarters, and we can go and make those updates in the system and process those. This area is a really huge focus for us, and the reason for it is we want to get more alumni engaged. Now, the first way to get engaged with them is to get their contact information. We have thousands of teaks that we have completely lost contact with. And we're not sending them the magazine, we're not sending them emails, we're not sending them the digital magazine, etc. We just don't have any connection to these teaks. And so by using this and having teaks like you going and helping us find people, there's some really amazing things that can happen. One of the nice things on this page as well is you can actually copy and paste the URL for David Abbott, for example, and copy and paste that into an email for him, or copy and paste that into a Facebook message or tweet. These are custom URLs for each individual person. And so that allows people to go through their contact lists on Facebook and compare these two lists and see who you have updated information on, etc. This is one area we really, really need your help. We want to be able to engage alumni because eventually, if we can get them connected and get them interested again and send them a magazine and the end goal here is to get them to get re-engaged in the fraternity. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean they're going to be the Grand Province advisor of whatever, but getting that guy to come and help on a weekend or come for a rush cookout or an alumni event is something that's really valuable. And it really helps our collegiate members start to network, grow, And what we've seen is as people start getting re-engaged and understanding the fraternity, again, there's some really big impacts. So, long term, I'm really focused on, in my space, doing a lot of work in finding contact information through the teak.org/lost or through the MyTeak system, through the MyTeak experience, and then being able to provide a much higher level of technology and usage and experience and training, through our ECompliance system and through our chapter module. We are here to help. As you have probably seen over the last 12 to 18 months, we're continuing to develop and innovate and create new things that can help chapters be successful. Because when they're utilizing our systems, we see a higher KRA score, we see top TEAC chapter awards, we see a lot of great things coming from our groups who actually utilize our systems. And so with that, Frauders, I really appreciate your time. I'm going to leave my contact information up here on the screen. I'm happy to have an email conversation, phone conversation, a Twitter tweet off, or a Facebook Messenger conversation, as some of the people I see in the chat thread, them and I have had many a Facebook conversation. So definitely appreciate your time, and I hope there's some interesting information, and hopefully you can take that and better utilize our systems and realize that the big picture here is that we need to get alumni re-engaged. They're our greatest opportunity, and we need to take advantage of that. With 225,000 living alumni, we need those men re-engaged in the fraternity and helping our collegiate men be more successful. So, Chris, I will turn it back to you.
Thank you very much, Alex. I really appreciate what you shared with us. And if we can, I would like to toss you just a couple questions that did come up in the chat stream along the way. And for those of you who've been chatting, just want you to be aware that the messages that have come across as Life Loyal Teak, that's me rather than Alex. He's been busy talking with you, and I've been tracking on that. So Frauders, Tommy and Cody, I will personally follow up with you about the items you put in there. But Alex, two quick questions that came up.
Sure.
One about mobile optimization and where we are with making these things available for folks on their mobile devices.
Yep.
And also a question about the resources for alumni associations, whether that's module access or advisors accessing Blueprint, or sorry, that wouldn't be an association, or like chapter websites for alumni associations, something along those lines. Where does that fall on the kind of the production timelines or possibilities?
Sure. Yeah, those are great questions. So I'm going to hit the Alumni Association website one first, because that's probably the quickest and easiest. It is something we are in the process of redeveloping right now. The short version of a much longer story is when we converted databases 3+ years ago, the chapter websites were the only chapter and alumni association websites were the only engines still connected to the old database. And as we were developing new process and better things for collegiate chapters, those are things that just kind of sat there and never got taken care of. And so we've been working to, we got the chapter websites done. I feel really confident that in the coming months, you will see alumni association websites coming along. And with that, in general, we are making a pretty major shift here in the office, as you've probably seen from ECompliance and the Conclave website and RLC website. We are making a really big change to be able to be mobile optimized for iPad, iPhones, Android devices, Windows phones, etc. That's something that's really important to me and the team here. And it's something we realize that our market, our undergraduate students, our alumni, they're constantly accessing the chapter module, MyTeak. I see it in our analytics reports. People are accessing our systems through their mobile devices as kind of their primary source. And so because of that, we're making a heavy investment in upgrading and moving things to be mobile optimized. The MyTeak system and chapter module, again, quick version of this is we only have a certain section of code that we can actually touch. And so we've been working with our software vendor on how to get those platforms mobile optimized so that, you know, people can just hop open the Blueprint page on their website or on their phone and just click through and make the updates real quick instead of having to zoom and zoom out and zoom in and all that. So it's something very, very big for us to continue to do and update and add in the coming months. I'd expect to see a lot more coming soon from us.
Great, Alex. I appreciate the added information on those
Absolutely.
two responses. And as I just put in the chat for folks, any other questions you have, we certainly can respond to. And thank you, Frater Ray, for putting a push out there for Conclave registration, which is available for everybody. Looking forward to seeing folks in New Orleans. Thank you again, everybody, for joining us tonight on the webinar. We're doing these monthly, and certainly from what Alex has shared with us tonight, the myteak.org website is the primary portal where you can access a lot of what's happening. That's where you can see your own badges and check in on your own experience, make sure we have everything in there accurately for your history with the organization. That's where you can help with lost brothers and helping with the family trees that he talked about. That's also where you can access life loyalty and see the future webinars and what's coming up over the next couple months. That's where you can access the magazine archives. We'll also be sending out the Life Loyalty survey. You'll be receiving a link via email for that in the next 48 hours. So look forward to that, and we're really hoping to get a lot of response because your opinion matters, and that's what is so valuable for us, is to be able to incorporate that into the planning and what we're making happen for the fraternity as we move forward. Thank you again, Alex, for the information you shared, and thank you everybody for joining us here tonight. I look forward to having you join us on another webinar in the future. Thank you, Frauders. Have a good evening.